Hello, it is Amnian Nights, episode 6, I think. And Lukalok is going to catch us up on what happened last time.
All right. Yeah, so it's still just day 3. We meet up, I meet up with my contact, Basult. And he hooks me up with a satyr named Justinius, who is a clerk for the city, and personal aide to Thandril Ritchie. And he is willing to hook me up with a license for selling in the promenade. It's normally 800. He's going to give it to me for 350. And he's going to come back weekly until I have the money for him. He didn't want to tell me where I could find him. I was a little disappointed, hoping I was going to get a hookup to like a supplier or a wholesaler, but it's fine. It's fine. Round of drinks, Sire paid, and we talked about our plans, going to the Adventurers Guild, the warehouse, figuring it all out. We take a long rest and then head out to the Adventurers Guild, where there's Hubris, the guard that looks a lot like someone else from Avernus, and then Mila Pratt, the bartender, who Atticus just walked straight up to, not even knowing that it was the person they're looking for. And then we come across like a pirate dude that's a famous adventurer called Clem Fandango. Obsidian seems to have a preoccupation with the hunting trophies. Clem Fandango tells a story about joining the guild, tells us the rundown of joining the guild, and then gives us a job. He outsources to us sorting out the Saldean homestead. So we wander out there. They've lost like 12 goats. We check it out. The trees are dying. We think it's maybe something subterranean. It is. It's an ankeg.
Of unusual size.
I didn't think they existed. We fight it acid splashes. It grabs Obsidian, absconds underground with him. But we were victorious. We got some bits off of it. Go back to the
yeah, it's a real group effort.
Yeah.
We did a bit of damage.
I failed every that thing saved against every spell I cast at it. So we go back to the farmer. Farmer gladly pays us 8 gold pieces and some earrings that he had on hand that apparently belonged to his former wife. And then that's it. We're heading back on the road.
Wait, former, you said?
Any
former wife, you said? Did they have a fallout or something? What's up with that?
She is no
definitely
more.
Indicated she is dead.
How did Ciro feel about payment?
She felt like it was fine.
I think the way she phrased it, Ciro felt that the deeds of the morning did not feel as good as the deeds the previous day of helping Milton, and felt the reward may have not been proportionate to the means of who dished it out.
Okay.
But that was fine. I'd say Obsidian try to buy the earrings of Asher for some purpose. And also to clarify, Ciro did not pay for the drinks because Virgil paid for the drinks for us.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because a good task is its own reward, and then the universe provides in mysterious ways.
And then you get other rewards, like free
Exactly.
drinks.
And emerald earrings, racked in grief. Okay, I'll take us through then. Thank you for the roundup, Luca. So, we are On the road outside the Saldian farmstead, heading towards Athkatla, which rises from the farmlands a couple of miles down the road. You have about 15 minutes walk ahead of you. Do you wish to speak about anything as you go, or are you just keen to get back? What is going through people's minds? Maybe not Atticus, but let's go to Obsidian. How did Obsidian find all of what just went down?
Well, do you want to go into the inner thoughts or just how he behaves right now?
Whichever you'd rather share.
Well, Obsidian has been enjoying the countryside quite a bit. He's been much more relaxed outside of city bounds, so he's still trying to sort of he's a bit aloof out of the group, visibly more relaxed in general. Just the city does like visibly unnerves him. Just walking down the streets, and thus now enjoys the freedom of it, and seemingly did not appreciate the way things ended there. He wouldn't do anything right now that would like indicate an intention of following up on that. For now, he's just sort of on the side, very much keen to, not keen to get back to the city, but like focused on it, and also on just appreciating the views outside.
Okay. Yeah, and it
Be
is
the general.
and it is a warm, bright day. It is top tier weather as you're walking back, and it's early enough in the day that it hasn't yet got oppressively hot, which it definitely is prone to doing in Arm. You are near the sea, which helps a bit, but yeah, Arm gets hot during the day. A lot of places will just shut for a few hours, let things cool down, arrange their day's activities around when the sun gets to its biggest. But yeah, you are heading back, walking along. Anything that anybody wants to talk about or bring up as you're walking?
Yeah, Sire seems to be whistling a particular sort of almost bird whistle, chimey kind of thing, which to Obsidian and to Atticus just sounds like a nice melody, but to Asher sounds like, I know you understand. That's fine.
Asher's just gonna walk like she doesn't hear anything.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. When you want, I am here. And then she's gonna like just go to Obsidian and say, okay, I'm feeling upset too, but we did a good thing there, You look a little bit, there's something on your face, like it's heavy.
Well, it's probably blood.
There's thoughts.
It's either blood or acid.
On the inside, Obsidian, your emotion is coming out. There's a frown on your face. What are you going to do with the earrings if she had sold them to you?
It is a common occurrence. Oh, I probably give them back. There's no need for me to have earrings.
That's very generous of you.
Is it?
I think so.
Those are memories. Worth far more than gold of yours.
Maybe they were also painful memories.
Yes. Painful memories. Do you recall what you said about pain?
Uh,
I wish to apply some of that to myself.
you wish to apply pain to yourself?
Yes, I think Atticus mentioned something about a blacksmith. I wish to visit that place.
Okay. Well, we have nothing else to do all day, so.
Hmm.
Blacksmiths usually make armor. You know that, right? You don't wear armor.
Yes. Do they not have molten metal?
They sure do, my friend.
Good.
Just checking, just making sure you knew what exactly a blacksmith was.
Wait, so
All right.
you're going to put molten metal on yourself?
Well, and he will like point with a claw towards the cracked scale that he has. I would like to fill it.
Oh. I heard about some arts that do that. Some craftsmen.
Mhm.
They fill cracks with some metal. A way of highlighting the scars, I think.
That would be what I am seeking. Do you reckon a blacksmith could do that? I can probably
Very-
do it myself, so I just need access to resources.
I can imagine.
Hmm.
It's just raw materials. Sorry, someone put something funny on the chat, and now it's really taking me off my thread. Okay, to the blacksmith then. And then maybe to the Adventurers Guild?
Sounds
did
good
decide.
to me.
We did
I,
decide that it's
Wouldn't mind stopping by in town. We walked through quite a few little markets about. Figure I might try and find some supplies for potion making, things like that.
Yeah. I'm sure you can pick up some supplies, some key supplies. You approach the city after a while. There are guards stood out there as ever beyond the large gates. You recognize the same guard who said he was working all day. It's been less than an hour and a half after you left. So your business was quick, though you certainly look worse for wear.
Who
We
was saying
played
that?
fast and loose.
I am still standing by myself.
You look like you've been through it. You all right?
I'll be fine.
Okay. Well, in you come. They move their halberds and let you enter. For the glory of art. And yeah, you enter the city.
That is a jaunty tune.
I'm hearing it. Oh, there we go.
You've heard this every time you've been in the car with me, and I've been like, would you like to hear some Amnian vibes? I'm like, okay. Yeah. So the city stretches out ahead of you. You're entering from the south gate. Remember, you have access to the map at all times. You should be able to open it. The map scenes. Where are we wanting to head?
Well, you had mentioned on our way out of the city before we actually reached the gates, there were various purveyors?
Yeah.
Vendors?
Yeah.
About. And I'd love if I could just attempt to hang back from the group a bit. Just gonna try and pick up some supplies and see if I can wander over to one of these people alone.
Sure.
You know, I could use some supplies.
I'll carry your bags. Yeah, I mean, unless anyone is outright suspicious and wants to follow or refuse to leave Asha, I imagine you can break away slightly, checking out a few different things.
Yeah, I'll kind of browse nonchalantly at a few various stalls or whatever and make my way to one of those characters I asked you about last session.
Yeah. So you see there's a couple of stalls here. There are suspiciously warm-looking fish who have almost certainly just had a sheet thrown over them since last night and are perhaps not the freshest. There's a few fruit stalls. There's a small pop-up of someone selling very, very cheap, obviously fake gold sort of jewellery. And there is a young tiefling girl stood on the corner selling newspapers from a large stack next to her, just sort of calling out to people. Remind me, I'll go and click on you just to remind myself something about your character. Yes. So, having been in these sort of situations before, you will have a look around and see from this news girl. Not watching her, but you'll have a look and see who's in a position to be keeping an eye on her, watching her as she works, and you quickly identify her handler, an older dwarf, maybe late teens, mid-20s, or sometimes difficult to tell with dwarves, and he's just sort of leant against the wall, and he sort of clocks you watching her and just gives you a slow nod.
Hey, my friend. Listen, I'm a little new in town, and I'm looking to make potions, some other different things, and I was looking for some reagents of a certain type. Do you know where I could find that for someone being new in town, not knowing the usual places to shop?
I don't know anything about potion shops. Sorry. Have a good day.
Oh, and I'm gonna give him my best disarming smile. He's like, and I'm like, my friend, I'm so sorry. If there were a secret handshake, I'd give it to you right now. But as I said, I'm new in town, and I was just hoping you and I could just understand each other here.
You're an Athkatla. You can just ask.
I don't even know what to ask for here. I don't know what things are called here.
Reagents, labor, drugs, stolen goods. Which would you like?
Drugs. That one.
Okay. Got Silk Root, got Mistbane.
What? Oh man. What's the prices on those?
8 silver each.
How much do you have?
I don't carry anything on me. I'm a citizen.
Right.
But I know that it's 8 silver.
Okay. Well, let's say I'm interested in both of those. I'd love it if you could help me out with that purchase.
Go and buy a copy of Evening Standard. And just leans back and sort of turns in a way that makes it clear that this interaction is over.
All right, cool. I will walk over to that tiefling.
Yeah, and she's just extra.
Hey, friend. I was told by another friend to come buy a copy of the Evening Standard.
And without missing a beat, it's just, Evening Standard, 16 silver.
All right, and I'll hand it over.
Yeah, and she
I
just
gotta figure out how to
hands. She just
remove them.
she just slapped a paper in your hand, and you even feel from the weight there's something rolled up inside this paper. As she slaps it, doesn't miss a beat, carries on with her business. Yeah, remove 16
Well, thank
silver
you.
from your inventory.
I will just try and quickly just move what's in the paper after I walk away from her, obviously.
Sleight of hand. She just spills.
No, I'll walk away from her and just take this up and put it in one of my little pockets and open the paper and take a look at it and start heading back towards the group. Assuming they actually let me go wander off and do this?
Did you skulk away? Or did you say,
no,
hey,
it was
I'm
a
gonna
very
go buy the
casual
newspaper?
wander, and I said, hey, I'm gonna look around here for some stuff.
What else is around, BM?
The stalls that I mentioned at the start. There's a couple of bad food stalls, some jewelry, but it's very, very bad quality jewelry. You see there are a couple of signs for smaller stalls. There is still that blacksmith that you passed last time, the Forge of Legends.
Yeah, then Sida would have been completely clocking what Asher was doing. Like, not interrupting, but, like, looking at her.
Okay, so Asher's went and bought
Hey,
a paper.
Asher, shall we meet you at the Forge of Legends?
Make me a perception check. It is going to be 1 second before you roll it. Let me just check something here. Asher, make me a sleight of hand. I want it to be with advantage because you've basically been working in tandem with somebody who is extremely good at this. And I'm going to roll theirs. Did you roll your... Did you roll...
It was such a shit advantage. It was both the same thing.
Okay, and I want Siri to make me... Because I know you've got your passive, but you were making a deliberate attempt to do it. So Gabe 2 and 2. Right, yeah, you see Asher go and she buys a newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
And comes back over to you. Rejoins the group.
Figured this might be useful for us, getting to know the town. Thanks for waiting, guys. We can keep going if you want, or if there's stuff you want to buy here.
I think Obsidian wants to go to the blacksmith.
Did you want anything from there, Atticus, or was it just a passing interest?
I don't have any immediate needs, but I'm certainly interested to get a scope of the place, see if they're any good. Maybe price up a shopping list for when I actually do have some cash. But
All right.
yeah, considering I'm so, cash light right now, nothing on my purchase list. I might hit up the alchemist or whatever it was that you guys went to earlier, but I'll do that later.
Well, it's not a high priority for me, but if we find ourselves without a purpose, we can go there.
I mean, it's on the way back to the Adventurers Guild, so we can pop in.
All right. To the blacksmith we go then, I guess.
Yeah. Walking along, you see quite quickly the Forge of Legends. A small, humble-looking establishment with a very lofty name. It is sat in the midst of a small courtyard of the buildings, and you hear a steady hammering from within. Why do we not have the city sounds? Allow me to remedy this. There we go. Yeah, there are small steps coming up, and you just hear the steady tring, tring of a forge within.
What's the sign? Just next to it?
That can be whatever you want it to be, baby.
Oh, okay. I was wondering
like
if
a
it
flower.
was something that was, but don't worry about it.
We can say it is a florist's. Yeah, there's a florist next door.
Nice.
Inside, yeah, there is steady hammering. You see a large.
Can I?
Please interrupt me, Asha.
Before we actually head in, sorry, I was.
You're
I
already
would. All right.
No, go on. We're the
I was gonna try and put like an arm out. Wait, just a second. Y'all, and I'm gonna prestidigitate all of us so that we don't look like we just walked in from an acid spewing fight.
Okay. People are as clean as they wish to be. Yeah,
Thanks,
open up.
sweet cheeks.
The desire to know
Anytime.
intentions intensifies for Siri.
So,
Yeah,
like, her 18 passive hears that, she raises an eyebrow and smirks.
Side eye. Yeah, inside there is an elderly but extremely heavy-set tiefling hammering away at the forge. And he looks up, seeing you all, and with his just wipes his hammer off on his apron before heavily tring it down on the anvil. Good afternoon.
Afternoon to you, metal bender.
Come in. You're letting the city in. Welcome to the Forge of Legends.
An esteemed name.
An
Many
esteemed
legends.
lineage.
Many legends being formed here.
Still being forged. I have not done as well as my forebears, but then these are challenging times. Cromwell the Fourth, at your service.
Sidian.
And you can all make me. You can all make me a history check. A DC 18.
There's barely any point in me rolling.
Twinsies.
Oh.
Well, Atticus.
Atticus, who had barely any point rolling, through your martial studies, perhaps under your father or under Xandor Blackwood, you would know the name Cromwell from in the past, old enough that it is clearly a father or grandfather of this smith, but Cromwell of Athkatla was known as being one of the most accomplished smiths in Faerun. He would not lower himself to making day-to-day things, worked only with the creation of extremely specialist and powerful magical items from adventurers. One of which, with a 19, will say you know the hammer of the Dwarven Kings, Cromfire, was made by Cromwell. It was said to be able to shatter any sort of golem with a single blow.
Cromwell the Fourth, you say? I've heard of your lineage. The name precedes you. Your forefathers forged the golem-shattering Cromhammer, if I'm not mistaken.
Indeed, as well as the Flail of Ages and another dozen items of legendary name.
And you still bear the torch with their standard of work and penchant for only the best of weaponry?
Alas, my own luck has not gone as well. I still work as hard and as skillfully, but the opportunities have not been presented to me. And so the forge has shrunk and relocated since my grandfather's time. But the skill and the will remain.
Well, we certainly appreciate fine work. Would you be someone to come to if I were looking to price up for plate armor?
Insight check. DC 12. You catch very quickly across his face that he is disheartened, but doesn't want to appear rude about it, and after like a fraction of reflection, probably realizes that he could actually do up the money. Not the sort of work he'd like to be doing. He's like, I could indeed make you a fine suit of plate armor.
And where do your specialities lie? Perhaps if we're looking for enchanted items, that'll be more your speed?
The nature of the enchantment depends. Weapons are my specialty. I am particularly well versed in combining different magical items to form truly special weapons. If you're just seeking some added keenness or a tinge of flame to a blade or spear, there are many other blacksmiths who can accommodate you.
Well, that sounds most interesting, and I will be sure to visit upon you if I happen across the opportunity.
Very well. Will there be anything today that I can do for you?
There would be, but a probably somewhat unusual matter.
He clearly is more interested by that than the prospect of making plate armor.
Although I'm afraid quite below your standards. You see, I seek to fill and embellish this marking. It points to the scale once more. It's clearly broken and has like a ridge inside it, I guess. So I am searching mostly for the resource to fill it with. Anything molten in the forge right now that I could use and pay for.
I'm trying to do something, but it isn't letting me. One moment. There we go. He nods along as you're talking. And you may see, Mr. Deaf, you have received an in-game message.
Yeah, I have.
If you don't know how to respond, you can just send me a Discord message.
Cool.
I have a small measure of steel in my crucible at the moment, and I was about to fire up some electrum for a small, specific commission I'm working on. You seek to surround the damage and reinforce it.
More or less, yes.
And steel is no good. You require an alloy. I can do this for you.
What price would you put on it?
The cost of a metal. A gold and a half. There is the only one, yes? Pointing at the damage.
At the moment, yes.
A cup will suffice. And he looks around at a few, not bars, but very small ingots. And he's like, is time a factor for you?
Obsidian will look to his companions for the answer to that.
Still early.
And how much time do you presume it would take?
An hour?
I think we can do that.
We've got odds and ends to attend to, but not in a rush.
He just nods and sets to work, collecting a few smaller bars. He breaks a few and melts down a couple of different things into a very, very small crucible, size of a mug, really, and just sets it in the flames. It starts to warm. And as he's doing so, you sort of keeps an eye on the fire stoking, not paying a huge amount of attention to any of you. Looking around, you see there are fine quality, some unusual looking weapons mounted on displays in the wall. But the things that are like in the tables and on the workbenches appear very commonplace day to day.
Are there any crossbolts?
I do not think there would be any sort of ranged things in here.
Fair enough.
I didn't ask. If I were to be pursuing plate, what would you charge?
Sort of, you almost think for a moment that he hasn't sort of heard you as he's stoken away. As I rapidly remind myself. There we go. Normally, would go for around 1,500 for high quality plate.
Or perhaps the even cheaper mithril plate? Very well, I will bear that in mind. Not an endeavor that I need just yet, but at some point, perhaps.
Perhaps if you work a bit faster on your reflexes, you won't need that much of an armor.
You know full well that my training focuses heavily on the use of armor, okay?
I do.
It's
I
a
do.
skill.
It is. That thing is heavy.
It's not just about getting hit all the time, okay? It's about knowing when to absorb the impact, deflect it, you know?
I'm just saying you could use with a little bit of less of absorbing impact. Thought I lost you for a moment down there.
Oh, you are silly.
Down where?
We were in
had
this
a-
cave fighting an ankeg. A giant thing it was.
Useful beasts.
Indeed, we did chop off a few of its parts, but who knows
Yeah,
what they'll be
how
good for.
useful.
If the plates are removed in a specific way, they can be used for a rudimentary armor. The cleavers can be made into an axe or a great sword with the right hand. The acid, nasty stuff.
Well, actually, if you had some time, I'm sure there's a farmer that could use a strong fella like yourself to remove the body from his property. You could
Might
perhaps
be.
harvest a plate.
Quite a bit of digging involved.
I appreciate the tip. Perhaps one to give to the Adventurers Guild.
Do Would you happen to know what the going rate is for tips?
Not to sound obscure, but it depends on the person buying information. What's useful for one is useless to another.
Jim, can I pull out my damaged unkeg claw and just be like, do you make any use of this?
Oh,
This useful
Luca,
to you?
try again. Could I make any use of this?
Whatever.
This thing that's come out of my backpack that is you haven't
Yeah,
seen.
yeah.
We
before.
will say I had it strapped then.
There has been
yeah.
an element of hammer space at play here. He's like, continues, takes it with one hand. Like, you, good job you're wrapped. You see, he's got heavy Weldon gloves on. He's like, the acid in this will persist.
Oh.
Takes, he's like, cracked.
Yeah.
And it was removed from the ankeg by, I can only assume, a blind child. But
Oh, yeah. One blind child here. Perhaps it is still useful to you, though.
I could serve as a weapon from this. A great sword, I imagine, would carry the ankeg's venom with it. It would be a serrated great blade. Extra work will need to be done to reinforce this damage. I could do this for 900 gold. And holds the claw back out to you.
Oh, like you wouldn't. I mean, what if I just were to sell this to you for you to make a sword to sell? Like, I supply this, and you've got a nice new project for which you can make a buck. I just take a small fee for the supplying of said claw.
There is a danger in amassing a stock of magical weapons. It makes you a target. My work
One
is
item does not make a
commission.
stock.
My work is commission based. I have
Alright,
no
then.
interest in making this and leaving it lingering on a shelf. That is a merchant's privilege.
Well, good to know. I'm gonna take it and strap it back to however I had this configured.
And yeah, after a while, during which I think you can all apply a short rest.
Ooh.
I will prompt you. I always forget about the prompting.
Right.
Yeah, he turns to the obsidian and just points to the anvil with the obvious expectation for you to sort of sit, perch on it.
Obsidian complies.
Lean back.
Cedar's gonna take a keen interest in this as it's kind of a body modification, and that's something that she'd be interested in watching. Have you done this before, either of you?
No.
No.
Perfect.
You came to me with this request. I assume I do not have to explain to you the sensation you are about to feel.
It is quite all right. I think.
Do I need to bind you?
By now, he would notice the rafted pieces of rock. So-
Yeah. Do you need to be bound?
I don't think that will be
Very
necessary.
well.
No.
And he just pause it. He sort of like pause for a second until Like the slow, viscous molten falls on, and then he just pushes the cup and holds it over. Yeah, you will take 1d4 fire damage.
Well,
Yeah,
good
the
thing
smell.
Good thing we rested.
The smell. It takes a couple of moments, but the hiss is quiet for a moment before suddenly ramping up after a few moments, and yeah, the smell of charred flesh very quickly fills the room. After a few moments, he pulls the cup away and sort of like tries to tug you backwards a little bit so it doesn't just go spilling down your midriff.
Does Obsidian flinch at all? Is he like?
Oh, I imagine he'd flinch quite a bit, but like,
well,
I'd
make
Sure.
make a con save if you want to see if you manage to it out.
All right,
We'll call it a 15.
Maybe he's not trying to be tough.
that's 13.
Yeah.
Close.
Um.
I think a low growl would definitely be involved, like just
Yeah.
rising and rising for quite a while, filling the limited space of the establishment.
After a few moments of this, and like the slag starting to like run down you, Obsidian, you see Cromwell just go, and there's no sensation of cold from you, but he sort of looks at us, gives a quick, and immediately all the molten metal just solidifies. He hasn't like frozen it. It's just like it's suddenly set. And he gets a couple of smaller tools out and just chisels and chips away, cutting chunks out to reduce the mess until it's neat and safe. Then he sets to just almost buffing and polishing it back a little bit until eventually it's like a perfect mend. And looking down, you get that confirmation as it now has a sort of sheen to it, that as it's filled in and been buffed, it is in that exact shape.
Is this like a ridge or like a plate?
I will let Obsidian tell you.
What kind of distinction are you looking for? Like it was, you had like a breakpoint in the scale that was, so it would be an inlay, I think.
An inlay. Okay.
Yeah.
I was asking if there was something that could hold like some sort of design, but it seems to be more of like a like an
I mean,
inlay.
it is a design.
Yeah,
by
exactly.
design.
Exactly. Yeah, but not like a plate. Like
No.
No, the damage was in a very particular shape, and that shape has been filled in with metal now.
Nice. What shade of metal?
He offered Electrum, right?
Like,
It is a dark blue that almost looks like almost like inky black until, in particular, when it catches the light in certain ways, there's a dark blue on it.
Very contrasting for Obsidian.
that's so
Cool. Fine work.
He nods, just the matter of fact, like, yes.
Sure. Yeah, it almost feels like he would be. That might be an insight thing, I think. I don't know if I should roll or not, but he almost feels like the type that would be offended by like a couple silver for like as like a tip for the thing. He did mention that he just wants for the. So I'm not sure if that would be.
I don't know if that
appropriate or
would.
not.
I don't know if that would be an insight thing. I feel like
Yeah.
that would just be reading someone's mind. I think Obsidian just decides whether to risk it or not,
Yeah, so he'll just pay what he owes.
and he gives
I guess the price was quoted, and we'll stick to that.
a curt nod. He turns a little. He's going to ask you a couple of questions, and he just takes the coin, nods. That will hold up for a long time.
It appears that way.
Are
Those
you all in town for long? Should I keep a small cup boiling?
I'm not sure how long we intend to stay, actually.
You look to the others again.
I'm
For
not
that
planning on
information.
leaving anytime soon, but we'll see how much damage Obsidian ends up taking, I guess.
Yes, it is not every day that a shape like this shows up on my scales. We'll have to see.
What is the shape to you? I do not take its meaning.
It is a rune of sorts.
I sensed no magic from the wound. A different kind of rune.
The damage was done by a creature the same that you spoke about, the Ankheg.
Oh,
It was not made by magic,
no.
yet it has meaning to me.
This is fine.
Wait, no, okay, it might be fine to you. I've never heard anything like this before. What do you mean the Ankek broke your skin in a particular pattern that you recognize?
That normally happen?
Is that something too strange for you?
I mean, I've never heard of anything like this before, for sure. Usually, when I get cut, I get cut in like a straight line.
Or have you assumed that the visions that sent me here were but a fancy of mine?
No, for sure. But listen, it's one thing to have visions, and another thing for creatures to strike you in a very particular pattern. Do you recognize the rune?
I don't think we established any meaning behind it other than it is a recognizable thing from the homeland.
Does it say anything? Is it a word?
Do we wish to establish that in any way?
See, that's what you have to do, is say, I've got mysterious signs in my body and I don't know what they mean. And then the DM does all the work for you. That's what I did.
Oh.
Okay. Perhaps we can, if you don't know what they mean, we can maybe ask someone.
I assume you see my message, Mr.
Yes, yes, I do. I do.
What it means to me right now is that I am on the right path.
And he like sort of very awkwardly gets up, like sort of seemingly very much still quite
This
in pain.
seems like a personal conversation.
Right you are, friend. We'll see you later.
We'll leave you to your work, artisan.
Appreciate it. Faraday?
As Atticus comes out, she'll be like, okay, do you also have the sense that these two have secrets that they're not sharing with us? Because they are dodgy. They are so dodgy.
Oh, there.
Does she say that to him?
That's just to Atticus.
Yeah.
Like, on an aside.
Is she clearly indicating that the other two members, they're
Yes.
dodgy?
They're so dodgy. They're just full of secrets.
Well, sister, some people would actually say I'm kind of dodgy. I mean,
All of us
I'm
will
not
say that.
really, but you know how people get.
Atticus.
People love to have secrets. It's
You are
always fun to have a
transparent.
secret. Look, just because I'm not great at book learning doesn't mean I'm not capable of keeping a secret. If you told me something in confidence, I wouldn't tell anyone.
I don't doubt that. I just I don't know. I'm not as quick to trust as you are, I don't think.
Well, we can keep an eye on them. How's that?
I'll keep an eye on you. You just try to not, cause any scenes or accidents or get yourself into trouble.
Atticus, can you roll me a D12, please? Thank you. One second.
No promises. I'll lead the way. How's that?
As always.
For the Adventurers Guild.
Obsidian. Do you get runes every time you're hurt? Or was this the first one?
It is the first I've seen.
Acting really calm about it that something just like drew on you. In a language that only you seem to be able to understand. Like, I'm surprised you didn't like stop and ask it what the hell it was doing.
Ask what?
The creature that drew on you. Like, how did it know you're...
The corpse of it.
Oh, I guess that's fair. All right.
Didn't seem too interested in conversation either way.
You think this is all just part of this fate thing you're always talking about?
I would reckon that.
Can't say I've ever heard of that.
These runes do not translate into language directly, but one like this can be interpreted as pain or trial in many ways.
Yeah, I guess I think it would be weird if I saw like an owl flap down with a brush and write my name just wherever we were. Like, I feel like I would be less calm than you are now. So that's all right. You seem good with it, so all right.
Yes, we do seem to differ in many ways.
That's for sure. All right, I'm just gonna keep walking.
And yeah, if you're making your way to the Adventurers Guild, that takes about 30 minutes on foot throughout the city. But you find yourself approaching the familiar building. Unless if I had someone do a sharp intake of breath then, is there anywhere else or someone else would like to go on the way?
Sid is looking out for but I think we're probably going the same way we went just earlier today, for a clothing shop where we can procure some stalking, sneaking black cloth and disguise sort of materials.
So if you're looking for just like black clothing, you can absolutely find that from a number of small tailors on the way. If you're looking for anything that's more in the way of like leather armors and like stealth gear, that would be a bit more specialist. If you're looking for like roguey stuff, because in a city run by a thieves guild, that sort of stuff would probably be slightly regulated.
I think Siri is looking for some sort of hat or headdress, potentially as a head scarf that will cover her hair, feathers, and a dark trench coat that covers her chainmail. So similar to what she has, but maybe not like the one she has.
Yeah, I think any just piece of black cloth of suitable size could be used for the head thing. So yeah, you can get that. It would have no mechanical benefit. It would basically be clothing, but make you more make you more difficult to identify.
Yeah, that was the whole point.
And are you
feel free
all
to bill
buying
me
a
for
set
that.
of that, or? Are you looking to... That will run you, I think, just for that sort of cloth and coat setup, 3 silver each. So who would like to buy... Who would like to buy stealth gear?
Yeah, I kind of like poncho-y cloak, so it kind of, covers, cape down the back, a hood, and then, because it's a kind of poncho-y style, covering the chest and like, armor, I suppose, is less obvious. So
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, take 3 silver off. Take 3 silver off each of you who are buying that sort of gear. As you go to stow your gear in your bag, I guess you see on the reminder, but you still have your very discernible, conspicuous prison clothing in your bag.
Yeah, I do.
Would have left it in the cave.
Just before this conversation, I was thinking I should have just thrown it in a pool of acid.
Yeah.
But too late now.
It is indeed.
Useful creatures, those ankhs. Yeah.
So yeah, those of you who buy my gear, take it off.
Yeah,
and
I
then
think Obsidian would be like, should I bother?
Probably not.
And then he pulled his balaclava down and he bit Jim and ate him.
I mean, you did mention that there are other like lizard folk or dragonborn in the city, are there not?
Yeah.
So I guess like
I mean, you saw another dragonborn in the Adventurers Guild when you were there before.
having that shape, but not being visibly scarred all around with like flamey something underneath might be useful. So I guess I'll
get yourself a cloak and a cape, man. It's
sure
like
thing.
it'll look cool. All billowy and stuff.
I'll get the pink one though.
Okay, you arrive at the Adventurers Guild.
All right, time to become full-fledged members, I guess. I will be sleeping under the theater.
Hey, hubris.
Just nods.
How's it hanging?
As well as it was an hour ago.
Should have come with us. Stretch your legs.
You know this is the Adventurers Guild and not a barn, yes? Obsidian seems to keep managing every time on this staircase to not be on the correct elevation. There you go. And she'll close the door behind the last of you before sitting back in her seat.
Oh man, it looks like our
my God,
buddy is
Obsidian.
gone.
Has Clem departed, or Mr. Fandango?
I think he's in the back.
Very well.
Where's the back? Where's the back?
That's a decent question. Is it behind the door, behind Mila?
Mila.
You see only one door out of the place. And it's behind the bar.
We were told that perhaps Mr. Fandango was in the back. How would we go about finding him?
He's in a meeting at the moment. I can fetch him if it is urgent.
Oh, not urgent, no. I wouldn't want to be responsible for interrupting. Shall we take a seat and wait?
Yes,
Yeah,
you may be some time. They're planning an expedition.
Where?
That wouldn't be any of my business.
Billy, you got any facilities around here?
There isn't one on the map, but sure there would be a toilet somewhere.
I will excuse myself to the toilets. And I would like to what does Mistbane look like, DM? What am I looking at here?
I will tell you now. So let's have a look. So the silk root is like a pale, slightly smaller knob of ginger. Where are we? The mistbane. Where are we? Oh no, not mistbane. Yeah, I got the wrong name, but we get mistbane.
Oh, I can write something else down.
That's fine. I've already got the item made. The other one looks like it's a small piece of like wax paper inside which there is what looks like pre-chewed chewing tobacco. There is like a gummy paste.
All right.
And that's all the information you have.
I'm gonna take off a small portion of that and put it in my mouth. Hope
Okay.
I'm doing this right.
Okay, look.
It's a day of first times.
I'm gonna tuck it right here though for max absorption since I'm currently out of absorption potions.
Sure. We'll say you are off using the facilities. We'll say this is some sort of outhouse here. But yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Oh god. Just here in the bushes.
Yeah. So whilst Asha has gone and excused herself, what are the others doing?
What do you think,
Atticus.
guys?
If he was talking to you, do you think you could talk to him? In your mind, I mean.
Mr. Fandango, we've returned to the Adventurers Guild. We're waiting for you whenever you're ready. No reply.
Such a himbo.
Well, in case you heard me, we better stay here for now. So, pint?
Yes. I'd love to hear more about this expedition. Got so many people coming to this building.
Guess again, Asha. I'll deal
I don't
with
know.
you in a minute.
I'm trying to find my way.
Yeah, maybe an ale. I will also ask Mila. Mila, do you know who could be interested in maybe purchasing an ankhead from us? In good condition.
An ant head.
An ankhead.
Oh, an ant head.
A giant ankhead. An ankhead. Oh, sorry.
An
ankhead
ankeg
head.
head.
Do you need
Yes.
some more
Yes.
time to decide what it is you have?
An ankhead head.
An ankeg head.
This thing, and he will like sort of. I mean, is it strapped to your backpack or something? How does it?
No, it wasn't
Because
Asher's, actually.
Atticus has it, I think.
No, I
Oh, yeah.
have the big thing.
Asher.
Yeah,
Atticus
I've
has
got
the
its
head.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
but
okay.
is it hanging loosely somewhere? Is it
I
like
mean,
attached?
it
strapped
probably
to-
wouldn't fit in my backpack, so I guess it's just like tied to the backpack.
Yeah,
Is it,
so
we could say you have like the Witcher style, the head hook on your belt if you
Yeah.
want.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so Obsidian will just sort of like raise that over the bar.
There are a couple of quiet, low, "Hey," like a well-meaning but maybe accidentally sarcastic sounding smatter of applause from a couple of the adventurers in there.
Then we'll pay no attention to that.
Yeah, Mila will be like, if you were members and wanted to donate it for display, we could raise it as a trophy, but if not, maybe the zoologist would be interested.
And who would that be?
Here it will be Gellert.
Is he here?
Yes, he's in the meeting with Clem.
Really wish we were part of this meeting, you know?
Well,
I can let
they're
them know in a little
esteemed
while.
Adventurers. I wouldn't want to overstep.
Asher,
Oh,
you
Start to feel funny.
within a minute, 2 minutes tops of putting this gum in your mouth, you begin to be struck and captivated by the beauty of this outhouse that you didn't appreciate when you first came in here. The wood looks like it could have been hewn from the greatest and most noble trees of the Feywild itself. It just shines. It's got this colourful, shimmering lacquer to it. Please make me a wisdom saving throw. DC 18. Disconcertingly, as you're sat there looking at the beauty of these planks of shimmering, colourful wood, you begin to notice how many ants are crawling out from between the planks. In this outhouse, they are just beginning to sort of spill in
I
and
call
cover every plank.
DM foul using personal player phobias against. Oh, okay.
And as you sit there uncomfortable with this, you realise how oppressive the cubicle is as it's shrinking in on you, and you can hear louder and louder the rustle of these ants.
Yeah, I'm gonna bust out
but
of there.
as you look at them, your legs won't move. But as you try to move and push back about them, there is a moment where you feel, and there's an interesting sensation, you feel a well-meaning hand on your shoulder. And it is similar to that sort of situation where you're in a troubling situation, a parent arrives to bail you out of it, but you suspect that once safety is established, there will be a punishment.
Even though no one is around, I'm gonna just say, I'm fine. Fine. I'll get up in a minute. I'm fine.
The noise has stopped. You now, although still colourful, there's just a bit of a blur, a bit of a mist over the planks. And you still feel the lingering sense of a hand on the shoulder. And it goes for a second, almost like there's just a bit of a before it's gone. You fall unconscious.
Oh God. Okay. Okay.
And wake up covered in ants.
Meanwhile, inside, Ash has only been gone about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Maybe she's just having a poo.
Everybody poops.
I think we're all partaking of a.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's been a little while. We've been trekking back and then went to the bathhouse and stuff, but we have just had a big fight, so I think it's time for a nice pint. How much does 3 pints set me back? I will buy this round.
To your... Let me think. How many? 3?
Mm-hmm.
It would be 3 silver.
I pay that.
For ale. Madness. Inflated prices.
Well, you are effectively in a members club as non-members trying to buy drinks.
I was surprised they let us in. Wouldn't happen in London.
Yeah, take off that money. And yeah, you sit take stock of your automaton playing its tunes. Still seems to be on the same CD as it was this morning. You realise that Asher has been gone about 15 minutes now.
How am I doing?
He must be having a really big one.
Maybe she has
Right.
gone somewhere else.
Might be another meeting, yes. This is what I thought.
Or encountered someone.
You think
I can
she's
go
found
check.
a man?
Say that again?
You think she's found a man?
Are you worried?
Encountered someone? That's what he said. It just sounded like maybe she's met someone, like a man, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe she has. Like a
Well,
like a tall.
if that's the case, it's all
handsome-
happening very fast.
Yeah.
What do you mean tall?
You know, she's
Be tall.
Look, just because you're a willowy Brienne of Tarth doesn't mean I'm not tall.
defensive much.
Who know?
Anyway,
Look.
where was I? Ah, yes, 3 silver.
I just look, Obsidian, sorry. Just
Mhm.
a little sibling aside, okay? I just don't want you getting into anything. I need you to think with your head. You have something you want to do, something you want to achieve. And she's not being honest. She's not being transparent. Did you know she is like me?
Who?
What,
Asher.
like you know?
Yes.
I don't think you are alike in much.
She
Unusual.
is unusual.
Huh. I did not
But
know that.
I really hope I'm not overstepping, but
I thought she was quite unusual from the very beginning.
I mean, she has some
says
sort of.
the 6.5 foot tall lizard man.
She has been touched
That is
by
a
the
typical
ethereal.
height for a lizard,
She
man, I will have you know.
She has something of the ethereal inside her.
I see.
A legacy, birthright. Hence, her magic, I assume.
Is that something you typically announce?
You've just outed someone.
Yeah, I did. She totally did.
Well,
To her
I'm
brother.
not there.
Zero has
Yeah.
always
that's very
had
good.
a hard time disguising herself, if you will. So
Gossip is the devil's self.
Hmm?
Just for Moira again.
I don't mean this to get her into any trouble. I'm just saying she's not being open.
I thought she was just a normal girl who wore dirty, gross bandages on her hands. What's
I
that
just
about,
want
by
you-
the way? I never asked her. I'll ask her when she's back.
Yeah, good luck with that, because she doesn't seem to want to explain anything. But maybe you can challenge her to a little shot game and say, "Never have I ever worn bandages all over my hands for no reason."
Now you're thinking with your head. Atticus takes
You
that as
are
like a
so
genuine
infuriating.
suggestion.
You are so. I don't want this to turn into another time where I just have to, I don't
No.
know, come and rescue you from some sort of thing that you have done, and it's just.
Did you
You
still
know.
want me to play the game with you, Atticus, by the way?
You're missing the point.
It's always interesting to learn more about someone, Obsidian, and you're a bit of a mystery man or mystery lizard.
Right. He like looks conspicuously towards Sire, who before has mentioned that the game is a prelude.
I don't think I was there for that part of the conversation, so
It's all right. You were not.
No, I just love that this is a confusion that is happening.
Asher's been gone around half an hour now.
Look, I'm halfway down this pint and she's still not back. Maybe you should go check on her.
I should I? Okay.
Well, you know,
I will go check on the girl that you fancy. Okay. I will
it's
do that
generally not
because that's-
appreciated when
Yeah,
a large, handsome man follows a woman into a bathroom, is all I'm saying.
It's an outhouse. It is unisex.
Well, do we reckon
so.
if something
Fine,
happens?
fine. No, she's making a lot of noise and standing up really abruptly. In fact, I think actually, if it's an armchair, no. But if it's just a chair, it probably falls and she tries to catch it before it makes a lot of noise.
They are high. These look like high-backed chairs.
Okay, then it just makes just a bit of noise.
A scrape.
She's angry, but she's not impolite.
And goes to the outhouse. I don't know
Yeah.
how to get there.
If something happened to Asher, is it reasonable to send Sira alone now, following in her footsteps?
Let's go. One after. I said wave after wave of my own men.
Well, I was
So-
more thinking, if she's a bit bunged up, then, Sire might have something on her.
This is horrible.
Smelting ingots. Yeah, as you
Not an
approach,
actual threat, then.
as you approach the outhouse, Siri, you hear.
Is there a smell to the outhouse? This is important.
No.
Actually using the facilities. My
That's what's
fans are
happening.
on. Everything's fine.
Other
Because
people
like
were
I'm
there.
imagining a cubby on the outside. Like
Yeah,
there's not a
yeah.
lot of space for her to like fall asleep there. Like
Well, the door is closed, but you can
it
hear.
goes-
You can hear snoring.
Asher. Knock, 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 knock.
There's not like a queue forming.
Nothing. No, there's no cue.
Asher Basher, are you in there? Okay. Knock, 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 knock. I'm gonna try to open this door.
Yeah, it wasn't locked.
It's not locked.
No, and Asher just.
Is she like noticeably snoring? Like it's not like she's not like scary passed out. Like
No, she's
having some
noticeably.
sort
She's
of, like-
noticeably snoring.
what does she look like? And also, what's in her hand?
Listen,
So she
I'm
looks
no
like
rookie.
she.
I would have taken that out, put it all back, and then yeah. I'm not. This ain't my first rodeo.
Yes, she just looks like she is asleep. Although you will see, looking at her, no, you won't. Yeah, there is nothing on her. She just appears to be in a very deep sleep.
She hasn't got like blue teeth.
No,
In
no.
Celestial. What do you make of this?
She doesn't seem well.
I don't understand her. I've tried, I've never met anyone like me, and then bam, within 3 days I meet two.
Not everybody is as comfortable with themselves as we are. We are lucky.
We are lucky, but I don't know. I have so many questions for her. So do you think she's just asleep? Who falls asleep while going to the toilet?
I once heard of a great bard who died on the toilet.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. She's gonna try to shake her awake gently. Asher.
After some effort, Asher groggily comes to. Asher, can you please make me a DC 16 con saving throw?
Ooh.
That hung on a 20 for just a
Yeah.
second.
You feel tremendously ill.
What kind
yeah,
of shit drug is this?
as Asher comes to, you will see just for a moment in a very non-glowing way, but almost like the visible sort of pink of like her lids and tear ducts are very blue. But within 30 seconds, a minute of waking and starting to actually move her eyes, you see that it's fading.
I should have opened her eyes.
Was there any
Are you
fun
okay?
part to it at all, or is it just say no
Was
to
there what,
drugs?
sorry?
Was there any fun part to it, or is it just say no to drugs campaign here?
There was
No, it seemed fun
rolls.
for a bit.
Rolls were made.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, I can't see why people would do this recreationally. It's like,
Roll
where
for
is
good
the
trip, roll
good
for bad
part?
trip.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed good for a while.
You've got to
Um,
save against ants.
Always
What?
gotta save against ants.
Hey, God,
Hey,
you look very pale. What the?
hey.
What happened?
Just felt a bit sick. Came out here. Guess I am a bit sick. Everything's fine though.
You don't look fine.
I'm gonna stand up. No, everything's fine. I
Hey,
think just
you know
the
what?
heat,
Stop,
you know.
No, stop. Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I hate liars. I hate liars.
All right.
Okay? And I'm not calling you a liar. But you're not being truthful to me.
Hey, listen. There's difference between liars and people just minding their own business, keeping to themselves. So you know, we're good.
If
you know.
don't mind, I've needed a poo for about 5 minutes. Can I?
Go find another
yeah,
three.
No, you know, ladies in the bathroom, sorry, sir. And I'm gonna start to head in, like seeing this as my fucking chance to get out of this conversation.
I mean, Sarah could be side by side
Yeah.
if you
No,
talk.
you know-
like I absolutely not gonna like, but it's very much like oh yeah, well we better get out of the way.
Okay, discretion is a virtue, but so is honesty. And you know, one day
Ugh.
people will stop offering you help.
I don't actually need. I don't want. I'm not looking for help.
Yeah. You look hard enough, you will not find it.
Hold on, I'm getting messages. Oh, okay. Listen, this has been great and all. I'm not lying to you, Sarah. I appreciate that you are. I appreciate that you're very forward and demanding, but like, you know, I keep to myself. You know, I've got my own. I don't need help. I don't. You know, everything's good. I'm gonna just try and steel myself and like realizing that the bathroom's in use and I just gotta head back inside.
Great. Well, if you're so good, then next time I will let you sit and sleep in shit for maybe a couple of hours.
I mean,
And
I
she like
wasn't
kind of just like comes back in.
Asher, the music is painfully loud. Can you please make me a wisdom saving throw with advantage?
With advantage, though. Oh, that was advantage?
Oh, with advantage. No, I didn't do
Yeah.
it with advantage. Sorry. Oh my
I thought
god.
it was the same. I thought that was the same number.
Nice.
Fine.
Okay. As I send Asher a DM, what's everyone doing inside?
Mildly fuming. Sitting there, just
obsidian.
like,
You lived in a volcano, right?
Not entirely correct.
You live next to a volcano,
Yes. In a
And you-
volcanic area.
and you your people they worship the volcano.
Yes.
Do you have a wait? Didn't you tell me this? Do you have a name for the your god or whatever?
Azurma, yes.
Right. Yes, that does ring a bell. So what brings you here anyway?
I believe we went over this as well. Although you were quite inebriated, I think.
Well, now's perfect time for a recap then. I've only had 1 pint.
Well, I came here looking for you.
Me, specifically?
You and your sister. Specifically, yes.
You've heard of our greatness then, I suppose.
Yes.
Oh yes, no, I do remember now. Now you mention it. A vision. And we were there. Ah, yes, that is sort of creepy. Oh, Asher, you're back.
Hey, yeah, sorry. That heat walking back kind of got to me. Not feeling my greatest.
No worries,
Not-
glad to have you back.
Thank
So, by the way, what's the deal with those, hand wraps? Are you
I'm just gonna glance over to Siri, very clearly, is this a run in the family kind of thing?
We're all here, Asher, because we're very worried about you.
are you like a monk or something? They wear those
Oh,
kind of things, right? Do you like to
No, I
punch
just,
people?
you start wearing something and then you just kind of get used to it, and it's comfortable, and it just kind of becomes a part of your everyday go-to, and I just can't imagine myself not wearing them now.
So you were going through a teenage phase and then you just never stopped?
Yeah, pretty much.
Fair enough. Maybe I'll start wearing some hand wraps. All the cool kids are doing it, right?
Asher, above the table, everyone here's seen your art. How true to your art is Asher day to
So
day? Because you can see stuff underneath your bandage on your arm.
I had one included in the art, but the wraps are definitely to cover it.
Okay, cool.
So unless you've done a very bad job, we can't actually say.
No, but I mean, that's, I get into a bad enough fight, it's gonna, it's only a matter of time.
On the plus side, though, you're never going to get caught short for toilet paper.
True. Very true. Or bandage, just blow my nose.
Awful.
I feel like she should roll to deceive.
I should. I was
Yeah,
waiting
yeah.
for the DM to ask me to roll deception, because I was such a fucking outright lie.
Disadvantage,
I will
please, as
not
well.
be rolling insight because I don't think Atticus would think to be suspicious, but based on my passives, he has no idea. So
However... Oh, no, hold on. You get mismixed
Almost
up.
like I built her to have a high deception.
However, as this conversation's taken place, Siri, your bullshit-ometer is screaming because Mita beat it.
They're so mad at me.
Yeah. Whole conversation about subjective truth when she goes in and just lies through her fucking teeth to your brother.
There were truths to it. Every lie has a little bit of truth. That's how you do good ones.
I think Atticus can tell that Celia has her I am pissed off face on. And she's not really engaging.
She's not great at hiding it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what I missed while I was gone?
Well, it seems like Mr. Fandango is still in his meeting.
Mira, my sweet set of pie.
All right,
Two
there we
more
go.
bottles, if you wouldn't mind.
Speak of the devil.
Thank you very much.
It's a neat
Quick,
trick,
get
Alice.
his
I guess you
attention.
should try that more
Mr.
often.
Clem!
Oh, no.
Mila, aren't you going to
yeah.
tell him that we're here? Jesus. I mean, by Tyr. Clem,
Good evening.
good morning. Sorry to keep you,
Is it still? Good
It is.
grief.
I don't want to interrupt. I know you're at a important meeting, but I just wanted to let you know we've sorted out the problem with the farmer.
You've
Turned
been
out to be,
successful in your endeavors.
of course, it was a giant brute of an ankek living underground, but we've dispatched it in no short order.
I can see that. So looking at the head.
Indeed.
A
Impressive.
fine trophy. Well, come along. And
Oh,
just heads through the door.
gang, quick. Now's our chance.
Before they shut the door.
Oh no, I can't jump the table, really? Okay, fine.
Oh, sorry.
Siri deliberately. I thought Siri was deliberately closing out on Asha.
No.
No, I was pushing on the pull door for a second, but it's fine.
Yeah, and you find you're sat around. Well, Clem is sat at the table with another individual who you may have recognised from when you were here earlier in the day.
The zoologist.
And there are a few different sort of
Possibly.
papers and maps on the table. It's like Gallet Talker, Atticus Gladstone, his companions, and this is Obsidian, who I was telling you about.
Pleasure to meet
So,
you.
you have indeed done me a great convenience by removing the need for me to venture to the Saldean farmstead. And true to my word, if Geralt is my witness, I will invest you as members of the Adventurers Guild, paying your first year's membership fees. He sort of reaches into his pocket, pulls out a small pouch, tips it onto the table, and an unnatural and impossible stream of gold coins begins to pour out onto the table. 40! And, like, ties it off and puts it back in. And the pouch appears no smaller for having done so. And just sort of slides over towards... slides it all over towards Gellet, who looks slightly frustrated at suddenly having a large pile of coins to count out, and say, "You as my witness, it can be processed, and now they are members of the guild, once we get cards for them. But in essence, they are members of the guild. Do you know what that means, Atticus Gladstone and friends?"
I mean, kind of the
understand
base. You go, Atticus.
Well, we can use the facilities and whatnot.
You can use the facilities. You can rent rooms at any guild hall across Faerun for a modest price. A silver a day. And you'll find the accommodation acceptable, I'm sure. There are other benefits which I shall relay to you now, because they're not in the Legend Keeper article yet. I have to go and get them. Good grief. There we go. Here we go. We're getting there. So, as members of the guild, let me tell you, we have specialist vendors who can find many of the things you find in the adventuring lifestyle should you prove successful and fame and glory comes to you as it has graced me. you may find yourself encumbered with wonderful things that you are frustratingly unable to sell for anything approaching the correct value. These small backwater hamlets where the farmers toil and children roll with the dogs in the reek. It's very difficult to sell a circuit of blasting to such a place. What need has the farmer? Does he blast the corn? Madness. So we can always offer you that sort of sale for a reasonable price. We can obviously sell magic items, although there's no discount there, rest assured, or there'll be all manner of japes going on. You can hire help sometimes. The lower ranking members, the new, hungry adventurers keen to begin their climb to fame, very often are quick to offer their services on your expeditions. Personally, I have found them to be somewhat unreliable. Many are brave and quick to offer themselves to adventure, but then, when there's a manticore bearing down on them, fear takes them and they flee. So be wary of that. And once you have proven yourselves and climbed the ranks a little bit, so we know that you have potential and are not just rank amateurs, we can sell contracts and maps. Which, tap him like the pile of papers in front of him, is what I find myself doing currently, organizing my next expedition.
And whose ear might we take in order to find expeditions on which to cut our teeth prior to being able to take roles such as yours?
Magira, most likely. She would be, once I am for Chult, it will be her who will probably handle contracts as and when they come into town. There's obviously, there are many hungry adventurers. We can't be seen to just favor the handsome ones, can we, Obsidian? But as we distribute jobs and work comes in, or as we start to find work that is deemed challenging and others turn it down for they are too craven, then we can certainly let you know. Magira, for a small fee, may be able to give you an adventurer's pin, which will hearken to you the sweetest song when we have work for you here.
Very well, that sounds most wonderful. Thank you for presenting us with this opportunity.
Yes, quite. Have you given any thought to how you wish to specialize? The guild, after all, is not simply some mercenary hall.
What are the options?
My dear, there are a number of specializations. Like Gellet here, you could be a zoologist. And he stands very abruptly and spins his chair. Doesn't take it off the floor. This is clearly a practiced move with one just grab and circular hand motion. The wooden chair, and he absolutely Riker sits, leaning forward. Every successful adventuring party is comprised of several roles. The zoologist, an expert, and he just sort of gives a two-handed point towards Gellet. An expert in identifying and understanding the creatures and threats out there in the world, their abilities, the danger they face, which parts to cut out afterwards. This is the role of a zoologist, a learned one. Make no mistake, he is just as formidable as myself. In a slightly different way. Aren't you, Gellert? And Gellert, you realise from Gellert's sort of suppressed eye roll, there is very much a Zap Brannigan and Kiff sort of relationship here. Like, There is the archaeologist, someone who understands the lay of the land, the ruins, the history of the place that you are in, where not to stand, what sort of pillars are load-bearing and are not. There are, of course, the simple mercenaries, those who have no aspirations beyond the acquisition of quick coin, those lowly people who dream only of social climbing and increasing their own personal wealth. You will not find me share a table with such folk. You must be looking to plumb the depths and the lofty heights of fame. But those base mercenaries do have their uses. Once, when I defeated the great Banshee of Daggerford, I did it by a rousing speech that won an entire band of low mercenaries to my flock. I defeated the Banshee, overwhelming her by sending wave after wave of my own mercenaries at her until she was exhausted and I was able to cast the banishing sigils that brought her low. One to be known. And then there's... they call it the face. I don't much care for such titles. There are people who are their natural charisma and successive adventuring lifestyle lends them to be inadvertent recruitment tools, bringing more in. I myself have never known anyone to bring in. Who after all could have the natural charisma to bring in multiple people into the Adventurers Guild? Who indeed?
Inside check on if he's aware of the irony.
He knows check.
Self-aware.
No check needed.
Fair enough.
Well, I do fancy myself a smooth talker.
You see yourself as a face man.
Potentially, but I do have martial training and was raised by my father, a paladin himself. So, in some ways, I wish to follow his footsteps, but in others, I like the idea of carving my own path.
Cartographers, historians, zoologists, facemen, or persons. These are the cornerstones of a successful party. I would give thought if you wish to pursue a career with the guild. Who amongst you would fill such roles? Who, for example, here, other than Obsidian, of course, would you say is the most learned and intelligent of you? He exudes a deep wisdom, a wisdom of the hewn earth, which I respect and admire, but of books. Who has lost the most hours here to dusty tomes?
I have read a few books in my time, in my education, but I can't say it was my forte.
Who other than Atticus Gladstone has Atticus... as your true calling of the face man, you seem to have a response to everything I say. And yet I fear that Sire Gladstone and Asher Gladstone.
Vasher. No Gladstone. Here.
Ah, I see. They have said so little. Not for lack of trying, I feel, fellow.
I mean, I can't say I've read a whole lot. Maybe recipe books count. I do dabble quite a bit in apothecary arts.
And you, Sire Gladstone?
I've been listening with rapt attention. I can draw. And I like spending time with animals. I like driving.
Then
I
you
like
could be
being
a
part of the land.
cartographer or a zoologist. This is nothing that
haven't-
needs to be immediately answered. These are just avenues available to you as you continue your careers.
DM, have you said cartography? Because you've said archaeologist, but I'm not
I
sure
have
if you've
said cartographer. Cartographer, zoologist, historian, and faceman are
Would you
the main roles.
not say that in the hunting of the beasts, the person responsible for traps and contraptions that would help, would that be a thing within the guild?
Yes.
That is the way my people handle the sturdier game.
Sturdier game indeed. Your people sound fascinating. I should love for you to introduce me to them one day.
Perhaps the time will come.
Perhaps
I do wish to return one day.
Yes, I mean, obviously, with all of these things, it is no good having a great specialist as a cartographer if you cannot raise a blade. In this instance, I'm afraid the quill is not, in fact, mightier than the sword. But I'm glad you enjoyed that one, Atticus Gladstone, as I had no doubt that you would. But, yes, give thought to your specializations. I must... Stands up, takes his hat, to Chult. But then, stops and collects his papers and stands
There's
up.
no space for adventurers in your Chult adventure?
Good grief, I'm afraid. As eager as you are, as I commented only hours ago, the lack of equipment speaks to a greater and more pervasive lack of experience, and I fear that what I am going to do in Chult with my fellows would leave you all on the floor in Chult. Have you experience or knowledge of the nature of a deaf tyrant, Ciri?
I don't believe I've come across one. Not unless you're talking about a humanoid. But I presume you're talking about a beast.
I am speaking of a most terrible of ills, a beholder that has achieved lichdom. Yes. Be fearful as you raise your eyebrows in disbelief. If I do not return, know that I will have died well. And he leads you to glory, leaving you with Gellet. To the practical matters now. Your membership has been paid for the first year. After that, it will be 10 gold. Per year, per person. You can take lodgings for 1 silver a night in any guild hall so long as your dues are paid, and you do not give cause for you to be ejected from that guild hall. You should be able to sell and buy magical items. There is no discount. These are items that have been taken on adventures. And Magira can, as Clem said, sell you a pin that will alert you when there is new tasks here, save you swinging by on a daily basis looking for news. I would suggest not overexerting yourself. We will let you know what is in when we have it. There may be things that are far beyond your ken. That will be for you to make the decision on.
Very well. How much might a pin set us back?
I believe, unless anything has changed, which I see no reason but it would have, a pin is 5 gold.
Noted.
Will there be anything
Valid.
else?
Yes. Should we seek to specialize or to have some special training? Where do we find any such masters?
This was Clem's very flamboyant and lengthy explanation of how a wide spread of knowledge is successful for any adventuring party. If you were all accomplished swordsmen but did not know the first thing about ceramorphosis and wandered blindly into a nautiloid, then all the swinging of your blades would still see you enthralled. So do not be brazen fools. Understand any situation you get yourselves into.
But if we wanted to learn?
Then Athkatla has many great libraries, and you can speak to people here and gain their experience, but there is not training courses per se.
That was my question.
Gellet, where would one be hooked up with various vendors that Clem mentioned?
Gellet sort of turns away for a moment. And starting from Atticus on his right, would any of you care for a breath mint? Offers him round.
Thank you.
Sure.
And then
Once I know.
to Asher, would you care for a breath mint? Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Yes, you would be able to buy and sell magical goods only. We don't deal in the mundane. There is the entire city of coin at your disposal there. You can do that with Rodness, who is not here currently, but is here most days.
All right, cool. Thank you.
What about this thing? And she points at the ankhet head.
Now that you are members of the guild, we are able to buy that from you as a trophy and display it in the hall. Or you can keep it for your own devices.
Did he just say they take it and display it, or do they buy it and display it?
To buy it.
We buy it and display it. You can, of course, let me know if it is a decision that you have to take some time to make.
I mean, do you want to carry that thing around you?
I mean, it's just a head. I don't doubt it's going to have a huge amount of non-trophy uses in terms of components and whatnot, and I'd frankly just like to get rid of it. So rather than trekking around to every apothecary or hunter who might have a vague interest, I'd be happy to offload it here. Make use of our new membership.
So, may I? Takes it.
Certainly.
Looks clean cut. No damage to the face. We can give you 3 gold for this. And just
Sound like a good deal,
taps
chaps
fingers
and
down
chapettes.
3 of the coins on the table. Slides them over in your direction.
Can I do an insight check? Just
Sure,
how
what
fair
are you
the price
attempting
is?
to...
Like, is he trying to swindle?
Sure. Do you feel that in character Siri would have any experience or barometer of what the going rate for trophy heads are?
No, but she does have. She's quite observant, as per her feat.
You're gonna be. That card needs to go back on the fucking deck.
And it's more about not how much it's worth, but about his feeling of, is he trying to? I mean,
Sure.
she rolls really poorly anyway, DM. So she's
Sure,
probably gonna
you
roll
can
really
make.
badly.
You can make
It's
a.
It's more about is Do I trust the salesman?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Make an insight check. He seems not bored, but he seems very matter of fact, mundane. There's no sort of, you can see that there isn't like some suppression to hide excitement at this, and then given a low ball price, it seems like a very matter of fact statement. His appraisal seemed fairly thorough, as much as looking at a head goes. He seems to not be hiding any emotions.
Well, it almost bit my friend Obsidian here in half, so why don't you make it 5?
So again,
I said it almost bit my friend Obsidian in half, so why don't you make it 5?
the competence that you did or did not display in acquiring the trophy is not a factor on its worth, unfortunately. A more seasoned adventurer may have felled it in a single swipe with no issue. Should I pay them less?
Did you hear that, Obsidian? A more competent adventurer. How about 4?
He reaches over and clearly and slowly looks to place his fingers on your coins and retract them.
Let's not be
Please.
hasty. Let's say 3 gold then.
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
Would you happen to have any, or know of any books or authors you would recommend, since zoology is your expertise? I can imagine there's more than one in the book, in the library.
If you can stand an even more illustrious narrator than Clem, then the works of Volofam Gedon are frustratingly useful. And you would all know the name Volo as being an accomplished author.
Grand.
I'd imagine you
Thank
could
you.
guide. You could buy several of his books in many stores across the city.
I'm gonna just. All right. Well, thanks, Gillett. Nice to meet you. And I'm gonna start making for the door.
And you. And although it is not included on this map, there is basically a bunk room here, very similar to what you have currently in the beneath the Copper Coronet, where you can all get a bed. And it's very much like a dorm. There may be strangers passing through there, all Guildhall members, but you can stay there for a silver a night each. And that'll be the same in any Guildhall in Faerun. So,
Yes.
I'm aware of a time. Shall we take a 10-minute break? We've kind of gone long. Gija may be hungry.
Yeah, but
it's
if we do that, I will probably not come back from the 10-minute break, given what time
Gigi
it
can
is.
hold.
Of course, yeah. What do you say, so Gija?
Gigi can hold.
Okay, well, let's take 10.
If you want to keep going.
Let's wait 10 more then, so that during our 10, that's when you go. So yeah, what are we wanting to do, having exited our meeting?
What time is it about?
Afternoon now. Sorry,
Yeah.
It is now after midday, is what I mean by afternoon.
I'd imagine we wish to inquire with Megira.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna take a massive stab at this lady right there.
I'm gonna look at Mila and be like, "Hey, could you point us in the direction of Magira?"
Yes, she's that bearded gentleman in the full suit in the middle of a hall. Now, yeah, it is, unsurprisingly, for players, this individual.
Thank you.
I need to start throwing the paper forge ones as being the more important NPCs to throw you off. But yeah, she's sat there talking to a heavily armored green dragonborn at a table as they're sort of watching the music automaton, but clearly not in its direct audience.
Do they seem very involved in their conversation?
No,
Or is it just kind of?
It seems light conversational.
Then I will come up and be like, "Excuse me, Megara."
Just turns and looks across
Hiya.
you all. Just
Asher Vasher. Nice to meet you. We were told we're new members, newly made members of the guild. Clem just officiated, I guess. And he pointed us in your direction, looking for potential work jobs you've got, maybe contracts.
I mean, you have just completed some work, haven't you?
Yeah, but you know.
The Saldine farmstead.
Well, if you had more.
I understand that Clem has invested you as members of the guild now, based on that work.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, welcome. But
Is there like a job board, or do we just come to you?
normally, so there is a pin that you can get. It may have been explained to you as part of your investiture.
Mm-hmm.
And that will let
There
you know
was a bit about a pin.
when there is work assigned to you. Otherwise, yes, you can just turn up here and ask about, but you may grow sick of that even quicker than I would. Although
All right.
patronage for the bar is always appreciated.
Do we get our pin from you? So sorry.
Yes, I can sell you the pin.
All right. Yeah.
It does cost 5 gold, but obviously if you intend to remain in each other's company, then there's not a need to be buying one each.
I'll look at the others. You all want to go in on one?
Sure, I was thinking of holding off for now, but I don't see why we couldn't split it, I suppose.
You want to hold off? We can hold off.
No, I think we should get one.
It'll save us time. Here, since he gave us 3 for the Ankeg head, I'll put in 2 now.
All right. Yeah, I'll put in 2.
I can put
Go to my
Why don't you
inventory.
put all 3 from the Ankeg head? Since it's something we acquired together, and then the rest of us can pay 55 silver each.
Well, I bought the round of drinks, so why don't you all just put in 1 gold?
Because that would
All right.
be too many
I'll-
gold.
We can work out the details later. Let's just pay the woman.
Appreciated.
Sure.
So she takes the coins, reaches
How much
into
is it?
the sleeve. What's that, Juja?
How much are we discounting?
I just removed 1 gold from my inventory.
Same.
Yeah. Take 1 gold. She reaches into the sleeve of her robe and brings out a pin. I can't not do this. The pin looks like a yellow exclamation mark. No, it's like a grey. It's a grey exclamation mark. On like the background of the pin is like a map with a grey exclamation mark in the middle. She's like, you pin that to somewhere in your garments. When there is work here for you, the exclamation mark will turn yellow.
All right. Ooh, thank you. Atticus, hold still for a second. I'll pin this on you. I'll come up and, I don't know, wear your cloak or something attaches to your armor? I don't know.
Are you gonna lean
attach-
down and put the pin on him?
Fuck off.
No, I actually, given my height, I will probably have to tiptoe a little.
He's like,
But yeah, I'll pin that. Yeah. All right. You're the official pin holder. Thank you, Megara. It was nice to meet you.
I'll be seeing you sooner rather than later, I would expect.
Yeah, hopefully.
And she turns back and continues her conversation. Siri, you hear multiple, you hear a couple of words like, And they say it can make it across the sea in a matter of days.
Is that to the Dragonborn?
Yeah.
Okay. Gia thinks about how nosy Sita actually is. But she's not.
You
She's
can
not,
be as...
but she will.
Yeah? Okay.
No, she will. She will make a point of. She thinks, I wonder who is going to arrive in a couple of days. But just as a maybe something to make sense for later. She's just not that nosy,
Yeah? Okay.
unless it involves.
Except when it's Asher. Yeah, when it involves Asher.
Well, like her immediate surroundings.
Of course. As you leave, hubris. Until next time.
You'll
You
be glad
detect
to
that-
know that we're officially paid up members now, sir.
This is why I wasted breath on bidding you farewell.
Oh, you. See you around.
No smile.
Sita smiles at Hubris.
Have you deliberately gone there, Asher? Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you had.
I had,
Clearly,
but if
this place is eluding the
no, I had
machinations.
deliberately gone under there.
Okay, are you hanging back?
Because you said there wasn't like an official bunk room here on the map, so I was using that in my mind as like where.
Oh, are you?
But upon
you're-
seeing everyone leaving, I would have absolutely gotten up and followed along.
Well, if you're stepping away, are you just going to go along?
No,
with them?
if everyone's leaving, I'll go along with them.
Okay.
I had sat down, but upon seeing them leave, I will get up and follow.
Okay. So, what next? What are your intentions, group?
Yeah, where are we going?
Where are
But
we?
I wouldn't mind taking an hour or so to visit the Flinktery, but perhaps by myself.
Very well. If you want your privacy, then I've got some errands I can run.
What about
Are
Obsidian?
we still planning to?
We should, at the very least, meet for dinner, and then we can organize and head out on our expedition. He says,
Sweet.
very obviously talking about an secret mission.
Expedition.
Should we
Yeah, where do we
meet
want to
at the
meet for
Copper
dinner?
Coronet?
Sure.
All right.
Near the Wave District, right? So
River.
River. Yeah.
Oh, so
No,
did
but
you
the-
have a copper coronet? Or are you talking about where your expedition is in the Waves District? Which is basically
Yes.
the docks.
yeah.
So,
So the Copper Coronet is near. It's on the other side of the town, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Copper Coronet is just to the north of the bridge
Yeah.
in the River District.
Yeah. And to the east of the Wave District.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the Wave District is also there. So we're going to have to cross the bridge either way. So I might
Yeah.
as well go to the Copper Coronet first.
All right. Well, I will meet you at Capricornet for dinner then.
See you
What
there.
is Obsidian planning to do?
Yeah, but first thing I was thinking about was he'd ask if any of you do desire company in any capacity. Or are you all just going to do your own things?
My own things.
And I don't even have to ask Asher Vasher, I imagine.
I mean, yeah, I was just gonna head up to Capricornet,
It's all right.
see what shops are along the way.
Okay, so we will take a 10-minute break, and then after that,
Mhm.
obviously, Asher will have to go, but I will do a vignette with each of you going and doing your own individual things, and then we will wrap up meeting for dinner for next time. So yeah, we will take a quick 10 minutes and back shortly. Let me just hide Asher. And she's gone. So yes, outside the Adventurers Guild Hall, you all decide to go your separate ways and then meet for lunch at the Cop Coronet. As Atticus and Ciri head off, Obsidian, What are you doing?
Yeah, Obsidian will stay for a moment alone and ponder that thought for a moment. It's been a moment. Like, look one way, look the other. It doesn't really have any ideas for where to specifically go right now. And there is some time to kill, right? Because we are meeting at the coronet in
Couple of hours.
Yeah, sure. So he'll look back hesitantly towards the guild, and then sort of make a few steps towards it, and re-enter.
Yeah. Cool. I just need to refresh for some reason because my my stream overlay did not update to reflect that people are not stood on the street anymore. So let's do a quick quick scene refresh.
I do wonder why Obsidian would be still targeted by Sira in any capacity.
I don't know either. I don't even know how to untarget you now.
I'm also not able to reload my scene, my foundry, but it's very unusual. I press F5 and it's telling me about to use dictation. Is it my new keyboard needing me to? There we go.
You have also permanently targeted Magira, it would seem. That's funny.
Okay, who knows what's happened with the overlay? Let's just go face up mine for now then. So yeah, Obsidian steps back inside, and Hubris looks slightly confused at the return visit.
Does she comment in any way, or is it just a look?
Welcome back again.
Welcome back. I am just seeking some passing company to exchange the tales or whatnot. Seems that we have found ourselves with a bit of time.
Keeping to themselves very much, just sort of in their own corner doing their own thing, but also aren't engaged in like conversation with others.
Oh yeah,
someone that seems available for a conversation.
I would say you have a couple of options. You have the fellow who is sat appreciating the musical automaton, and the tall, slender individual next to the Dragonborn and Magira, although sat near them, appears to be in their own company and just sort of has a book open on their lap, their feet up on a small stool, and is just reading a book.
Which one would that be?
That would be
one here?
This person.
Oh, okay. I see. Sure. Yeah, all right. By the fireplace seems like a better fit. I think Gideon would like to avoid the being too close to the noisy automaton.
Yeah. Yeah. They, as you sort of approach and sit next to them, they glance up from their book, give you a slight nod, and return to their reading.
Do you wish to be left alone with your reading?
That would seem immaterial at this point.
Well, I can remove myself.
I am being mirthful, they say on a face, but doesn't have so much mirth in it. You are, of course, more than welcome to join me.
Have you been long with the guild, I may inquire?
I believe that last year marked a 10-year.
It's quite a fruitful career.
It has ebbs and flows.
I find myself to be probably the newest member, one of those at least.
I imagine not for long. There is a high turnover in the lower echelons.
Yes. Seems to be the kind of work.
It attracts many, but suits few.
Interesting.
There are many who join with aspirations and quickly find that they are unable to fund the sort of lifestyle that they dreamt of when Mr. Fandango and his marvelous flying ship turn up above their town.
A flying ship.
Indeed.
That must be quite a sight to behold.
Once you have been on one, you have... It is much the same. It is nothing that a middling wizard can achieve themselves. It's a lot louder, though.
Fandango said a lot about
Yes, I can imagine. Oh, sorry, there's more.
about the certain roles that the members of the guild take on. Is that something that truly exists?
It's certainly beneficial to have skills and a range of them. And skill must be tempered by knowledge. So there is some truth to it. But he does enjoy making his speeches.
That he does. One of many words.
And, credit where credit is due, many talents. He is an exceptional monster slayer.
I would expect that rising to such a high rank would require him to be and from okay, so a big question here.
Yes?
How far do you want to go with like just casual RP versus stating the business and following up with like a
I'm fine with some casual RP.
yeah, sure. Just wondering where is
We'll
the
give it, we'll give it like another 5 minutes and then we'll pan to Gija.
And what sort of talents do you find yourself most gifted with, if that is not a secret of the trade?
It is not a secret of the trade. I speak for Umberly.
He'll just poke his head without understanding, I think.
Do you think he'd even make a religion check, or do you think that'll be lost on him with where he's from?
I can make a check.
Yeah?
Good.
Yeah, you would know that Umberly is a deity whose portfolio covers a few things, but chiefly the oceans and the sea.
Oh. Intriguing. I see. Not something you can really...
Forgive me, for a moment I wondered if that was a joke.
Hmm?
I tell you, I am of Umberly, and you say, I see. It is a common jape.
No. No.
Swell.
So, sea creatures then?
In the great part, yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Was there anything else?
Well,
If not, I shall return to my book if it's all the same. Although I'm happy to keep chatting.
that is quite all right.
And yeah,
Feel free to return to the reading.
Good day.
say
And
we'll look into the flames for a while.
opens her book, continues reading.
Hmm.
We'll pan to City. Let me see if it will load.
DM, how do you spell Gellert?
Gellert.
Much closer than my guess, Monkey. So yeah, I went something like with like Galled, Galled.
Let's have a
Lights
look
up
and see
on
if this is.
the Philinctory.
Yeah, I will leave the others here. Oh, is it not? Is it not loaded for you? I imagine, Atticus.
Correct.
No, I will place those who are here.
Are you coming with her?
No, I'm just moving people in so I can make them invisible so they can still see this scene and are not staring at a black screen while we talk, because otherwise they'd get, you have no token. So yes, you arrive at the Philinctory alone.
Before I do, where have we set off? You and I, me and Atticus.
No, Atticus has gone about his own business. You're by yourself.
I know, but where?
Oh.
Since the very beginning, or did I leave you somewhere?
Oh, I didn't track. You would have split fairly early.
I would have probably stayed around like the vendors and stuff
Okay.
as you were heading. I don't know. Is that also in this district, the Philinctory? I wasn't there.
Yeah.
The Philinctory, yeah, you're putting me on the spot trying to remember exactly where it all is, but you would have split up at some point, yeah.
The
If you have
Philinctory is the
basically,
river.
do you have things you want to say before you split?
No,
Is that what it is?
but
No.
she just needs to know where he is. It's just the thing. I just wanted to know where he is.
Okay, I'm sure that, although I don't have the specifics on the directions, I'm sure that he could point out the set of streets he intends to be on. If
Grand.
that's enough.
Yeah, so
He gets a balloon and a very long string so you can see him above the buildings.
he's not a child. Even though he acts like one sometimes. Sida will, with a quick step, heads towards the Philinctory. Are there any screaming noises this time around?
Ha, no.
She's gonna sort of peer through the window first, just to see if... Oh yeah, she's in there.
She is sat, facing away, sketching, but stops for a moment, and without looking back,
Sida comes in.
I
Hi.
can't remember what voice I did for her. I cannot remember now.
No one's gonna arrest you for it. Don't worry. This is my cost all over. Hi. It's Sida.
I know.
Gladstone. Wait, hi. Is this a good time?
I was expecting you.
You were?
Only for a couple of moments. I heard you outside. But I was told you were outside.
You were told.
Yes.
She looks around to see if there's anyone that could have communicated that. Like
And she gives you a bit of a. She gives you a bit of a.
Sorry, I should have said. I'd never met one that had been, touched before. And then, just in this last few days, there's two of you out of nowhere. So.
Two?
It doesn't matter. So yeah, do you also have a being you talk to?
Talk is a very literal way of putting it. My life has had a gently guiding hand.
Exactly. Yes.
In that degree, yes. I was guided to my calling. And occasionally she steers me.
See, Kuratoro is less of the steering kind. We have some, I guess our paths are not as clear. So at the moment we're just wandering around.
You are the fourth I have met in my life. All of us have been different.
I see.
But there is a connection is what is special. The nature of a connection is always different. Some embrace it. Some have it appear a few times throughout their life. Some fight against it and reject it all of their life.
How is that possible? I feel Kuratoro is like it would be rejecting my soul.
And you are extremely fortunate. I resisted mine for many years.
I can't even imagine such a thing.
Then you are fortunate.
I wish to pursue your craft. Would you teach me? Or I could pay you?
This is not taught. You would have to learn the long way, the harder way, with tool.
Oh, I crudely, but I know how to wield a tool.
I myself am the tool, which makes it easier in some ways, more difficult in some.
But you
But
cannot
yes.
teach to be the tool?
No. But I can
I
teach
see.
you how to wield your tool. I can teach you patterns and inks and Mr. Death. Calm yourself, Mr. Death. I can teach you patterns, I can teach you art, I can teach you some types of ink, but you will quite quickly find a point where you need to learn your art for yourself.
My mother taught me everything I knew, but her craft was of the arts. It was only when I
Her
started.
craft was not your craft. No more explanation is necessary.
Right.
My craft is not your craft, and so its use will be limited to you. This is tools.
So it is instinctual.
This is giving you tools to grow yourself, and in growing yourself, your art will grow.
I wish to learn.
Good. When?
I have until sundown.
Good. Then we will begin. Ankle or wrist?
Uncle.
And we'll discuss throughout the week what transpires, and you will
Ooh,
turn up.
tattoo montage.
Yeah, you will turn up next time with it. And then we will pan to Atticus Gladstone, who... So you had just a couple of things you wanted to get, did you, before we wrap up? Did you want to find somewhere to RP that out, or was it a rudimentary enough shopping list, but you just want to go through a couple of things? Up to you.
Incredibly short and basic, so I think we can knock it out. If that is with Agrippa or some other vendor, then that's fine. The main thing I need is a petrified eye of Newt, which I do not know how much it might cost, because who knows?
Yeah. So Agrippa's would not be a short experience. You didn't meet Agrippa. I can't remember if you watched Bavard, I can't remember, but Agrippa...
I did. I thought that the rest of the gang were very patient with how long they let him speak. I'm not sure if they were too shy about it, or were just in awe of his rambling.
I made the decision of I'm not stopping until interrupted. So it took quite a
Zita
while.
was enjoying that, so she did not feel the need to stop that at all. She was really enjoying that.
But yeah, you can make your way to Cast Away, a modest one-floor building. Let me add you on. Let me hide the others so they can see but not interfere. And yeah, you let yourself in to the building. Let me try again and see if... Oh, Foundry just seemed to have finally caught up. But there's something very strange going on with Foundry. Let me just try... Yeah, let me just try something with Agrippa for a moment. No. Who knows? Not I. So what I'll do is, to make life easier, I'm going to remove the roof. There we go. And that should fix the issue. Very odd. No idea why that's happened. But yes, you go in and there is ignore the strange, mysterious emanation of your invisible companions that you can hear. But yeah, there is an older tabaxi, faded fur. It's a faded pink now. Looks like it was probably very bold red in youth. Laden with components, who is measuring out what look to be tiny teeth from a jar into like a mixing bowl. There's a pestle and mortar, and looks up. Oh yes, good afternoon.
Good day to you. That is a lot of teeth you've got there.
It's only 47.
Oh, very precise. What kind of teeth are they?
These are fairy teeth.
Fairy teeth. Oh, only the finest and smallest, I suppose. Greetings, anyway. My name is Atticus. I believe you met my companions yesterday. Sire Gladstone, my sister, a tall, willowy woman.
Ah, yes.
And the large lizard man.
Very talkative young girl, wasn't she?
Oh, she has her moments.
They somewhat
I needed
overstayed their welcome. I was particularly busy, but being of the nature of providing good business, I felt it was a little rude to cut their conversational meanderings short. All about building good reputations and networking in this economic climate, of course.
Indeed. I'll make sure to not let her ramble any further.
Never most appreciated. There's many important matters to attend to around the store throughout the day, and I really can't be taking the time for overly frequent and lengthy breaks to take laborious discussion. Now, if you don't mind, what was it you were looking for?
Indeed. My business is brief. I need the petrified eye of a newt, and perhaps an empty glass vial that I might store some water in. Oh, with a cork, preferably.
Absolute pittance of a task. No, that's you. Where am I? I will go over to the shelf. Yeah, and pulls out a drawer in which was a small grey eye with a very, very slight amount of give to it, but you can tell it isn't overly fragile. Kind of like overly rubberized bouncy ball, kind of, slam it on the floor, it disappears, but slight give. And he takes a vial. No, he's never cleaned out properly, no matter all the attempts you make, there's still always some sort of residue, and yes, there we go, yes. Never use these for cooking. There is a particular red meat sauce that ruins these, and no matter how much you clean it afterwards, it will never come clean, and any potion you ever make will have a slightly reddish tinge to it, and when imbibed will always carry the slight taste of tomatoes and beef. So yes, not to be used for cooking, only to be used for the alchemical arts. 1 petrified eye of newt. Actually a common misconception. This is a petrified eye of newt, but many recipes, when referring to eye of newt, were actually referring to chickpeas. Did you know this?
I did not. However, I do not plan to use it for cooking, so that is fine.
Very good, very good. Chickpeas or black-eyed peas. The appearance of the pit in the center being led to the misconception, but it was in fact a very small eyeball. And a glass vial. I will provide you with 2 glass vials because you look like a rather clumsy fellow with that heavy armament, and I would hate for you to be lost. That will come to a total of 2 silver pieces, the majority of that cost being the Eye of Newt itself.
And yet such a common reagent. Very well, here is 2 silver pieces, and you're right about the clumsiness, so much appreciated.
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much. I'm sure I'll be back.
Yes. I'm sure you will. I have many other reagents, of course. Potions, tinctures. Yes.
Excellent.
Anyway, I must return to work. Please do close the door on your way out.
Very good. Good day, sir.
Very good. Good day. Yes, you have your reagents. And your expensive reagents. I would have thought there would have been some. You were trying to negotiate with the Adventurers Guild, but not on the unbelievable markup of this guy.
I mean, when it's in a gold value, then there's a lot of room. But
yeah.
God, well, am I going to knock it down to 1 silver, 5 copper? Fine.
Yeah. So you collect your goods. You all gradually make your way throughout the afternoon towards the Copper Coronet. And that is where we will wrap up today's session. So thank you very much, everybody. No thanks to Asher, who left. Dead to me.
I don't know. I very much enjoyed her drug-induced haze.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we
Thank you,
will
Asher.
pick up next week. So we'll catch you all later. Bye-bye.